I just want to say to everybody, please help me welcome my dear friend, Prophet Brian Gibson. Prophet Brian.
Hey, Z.
Welcome, brother.
What an honor to be here with you, man. I'm excited. We got the band back together.
We got the band back together.
Yeah, we'll go on the road.
We're
now.
on a mission from God.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So just so everybody knows this, you are one of the people in the prophetic I respect the most. I've seen you minister. We work together. I've watched you operate. And there's a lot of people that do things in the prophetic. But when I watch you operate, there's not only a sharp, clear word from God, word of knowledge, visions and revelation, but there's also tangible presence of God that takes place in manifested glory, all kinds of stuff. And one of the things I want to talk about is all of that. And I want to get into some of the stuff that's going on in the culture today. But before we do, I want to ask you this. How did you get started in your journey in prophecy? Can you give us a snapshot who you are, where you come from?
Yeah, how do you get there?
Yeah.
A lot of people want to know, how did you get here? How did you get from point A to where you are today?
Yeah.
And so it all started when my parents met in, no, I'm playing. We won't start
Let's
there.
go way back.
Yeah, way back. I got born again. I was a mess, right? Late 90s, cokehead, crankhead, alcoholic, hard partier.
Wow.
And my life was spinning apart, right?
Yeah.
And I needed Jesus to come and rescue me. And, some people come to the church or come to the kingdom and they think, I don't know, some people, you just add water and they think they're an instant theologian. They have all the answers. I wasn't like that. I showed up to church. I'm like, I need help.
Yeah.
Right. I'm self-destructing. I need help. Help me. Like, what do you got to do? Throw some holy water on me, or I don't know what you got to do. Cast the devil out of me.
Great.
Blow a shofar over my head. Whatever you got to do. But I end up at this spirit-filled church out in Texas, Amarillo, Texas. I'm a Kentucky boy, and I'd never been around charismatic ministry before.
Oh, wow.
All right. So I come in, and man, it's like, I would call it Holy Mackerel Tabernacle, right? It's what the church felt like. I get in there, they're praying in tongues. They're praying for healing. My wife's dad, Jesse, was the pastor,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
So they're praying for people's healing. People are getting miracles. I'd never been around that. And at first I'm like, man, I would be safer at the crack house than I am at this church house. This is wild.
Wow.
But I got the Bible and I started looking. And I started seeing the things you were talking about, right? In the Bible, things they were doing too, praying in tongues. I'm like, wow, it's right here in the book of Acts.
Yeah.
Right? Prayer for the sick all over the Gospels. Jesus and his disciples, they do it everywhere. Right? Word of knowledge. I see that listed. And I'm like, God, if you're real like this and you show up in power, I need your power. So my heart was just wide open. And so God met me there. And really, the prophetic impacted me so deeply. I've always been drawn to that. Wow. It was like this honing device from God, drawing me to that. And it really culminated in one big event. I was around the anointing. My pastor sent me out to pick up a guest speaker, right, at the airport in Amarillo. And we were having a camp meeting. It was 1998. I go to pick him up. When I get him in the car, I sit down, he sits down. He looks over at me and he says, you got up early this morning. You went to Walmart and you purchased these items.
Man.
Right?
Wow.
And he was right. And I was blown away. So I started looking in the floorboard, like, is there a receipt that tipped him off?
How did you do this?
Because like nobody gets me, right? I'm checking it out, right? How did this guy do this? And he sees me looking and he laughs out loud. Right? Because prophets are a little spooky sometimes,
they are
right?
spooky,
and I like that. I like a little spooky. He laughs out loud and he says, ooh, a prophet. Right? And I'm terrified. Like, I won't look at the guy now because I don't know what else he knows about me. I didn't know how the gift works exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I walk into church that night and I already felt like I was supposed to be a preacher. But I didn't want to tell anybody because I hadn't been saved long enough to get the smell of marijuana out of my hair, right? You can't smell like kind bud and be a preacher, right? So I can't tell anybody, but I'm on the front row and I'm like, Jesus, if you want me to be a preacher, I believe you talk to that man.
Yeah.
Have him stop and come down here and tell me.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's not a wise way to pray.
No,
right? I'm kind of putting God in an armbar. I don't suggest this, but I didn't know any better.
But it's so cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So the dude closes the Bible. His name's Brother Tommy Birchfield. He had the largest spirit-filled youth camp in America back in the day. Great man of God. Walks down from the pulpit, points at me and says, I like you, preacher. The call of God's on your life. Prophesied to me for 5 minutes, Prophet Z. And now everything that man of God said in 1998 has come to pass.
Man.
So it was such an impactful thing. and such an impartation. And it so marked me. That word put just wind in my sails.
Man.
Right? I knew what I was created for. I knew what I was here for.
Yeah.
And it created this focus in my life. And I saw the power of the real gifts of the Spirit and prophecy to propel someone further.
Yes.
And it did so much in my life, it made me seek out that for others.
Man.
So I got hungry for that. I was always probably sensitive to what was happening a little bit in the atmosphere.
Okay.
I felt things deeply as a kid.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because when you're younger, some people are like born that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to word that perfectly other than, Samuel had a call when he was young. Many people have these calls, I believe, and there's gifting and they engage it when they're young, but they don't even really know the Lord yet. But then there's the call that the Holy Spirit fills them and they wake up. Where were you in that picture?
Yeah, I think some people are, just like you say, people used to use this term in like the old school church. He's born a prophet.
Born a prophet.
Born a prophet, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that conveys the wrong thing to people.
I agree.
I think you grow and you pick up things.
I agree.
But there are probably prophetic inclinations in people's DNA even.
Yes.
Right? It's just there.
It's just there.
I think you probably had a lot of that.
I had a lot of that, but I think that's also, and the reason I ask this is because many times people that experience things before the Lord, if they don't really get on the path to Jesus, they can go psychic or they can go somewhere else. Yeah. And so that's the reason I was bringing it up.
No, I was the kid. I was raised, dad was a cattle broker, raised with all cowboys, truckers, football, wrestling.
Oh, man.
Everything was very male, right? Me and all my 3 brothers, no sisters.
Yeah.
And I felt things pretty deep as a kid, could be pretty emotional, right? If the environment didn't feel right.
I understand.
I always thought my parents were getting a divorce.
Wow.
Right? And they were fighting. Now that I'm older and I know they were fighting and I could sense it in the atmosphere. And I would come in like all the time, oh, y'all are getting, I just fall apart. Y'all are getting divorced. And I'm like this little kid and I'm wearing them out. But I think I could catch things and pick up things.
Yeah.
If I walk into an atmosphere that's funky, it's still this way. I'm like, what's funky in here?
Why is it funky?
Who's ticked off? Or what's that in the air?
Yeah.
It was always like that a little bit.
Like an empathy. Yeah. Almost an empathy. Did it, just out of curiosity and maybe for those listening, did it ever make you feel introverted or did you go the other way and really go beyond that?
I think there was great pressure not to be emotional in our culture. Right? And I felt things. I cried a lot as a kid. And, my brother's like, look at that sissy. He's there crying again. You can't.
And anybody that knows you, you would know it's the opposite in your character and who you are.
My personality's different, but I am emotional.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was a lot of fighting that. Because I would feel like, is this like, because I'm emotional like this, is this like, is something wrong with me?
What's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
But that was the environment. And then later on, I started realizing once I get saved, once I get spirit filled, these feelings I'm picking up.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
That's right.
And you got to learn, you can't let that control you.
Yeah.
If there's prophetic people watching, they need to know that you cannot let the atmosphere, you'll feel enough in the atmosphere. If you got a prophetic inclination, if you're not careful, you'll let that atmosphere begin to control what you're feeling, thinking, where you're going. You have to dominate the atmosphere.
So good.
Right? A prophet doesn't let the atmosphere dictate to him. He dictates to the atmosphere.
Come on.
You learn that as you go on, but it took years.
Took a long time. So let me ask you this. What was the first encounter where you thought, wow, I'm seeing this about somebody, you share it with them, and it was accurate? When did that begin to happen?
Seeing in the spirit, I was in drug culture, right? And so there is the pharmakia thing.
There really is. Yeah.
Right? Pharmakia is sorcery.
Yes.
But we get our word pharmacy from there.
That's right, yeah.
And I think a lot of times the sorcerers or the brujas, right? I minister in the Spanish-speaking world a lot. Yeah. The witches, they use illegal points of entry into the spirit realm.
That's right.
And they start to see and sense things. All right? I think meth culture, which I was a part of, if you go around methamphetamine, crank, that kind of stuff, they're always selling it in some trailer park somewhere with some psychic witch next door. I mean, it's just the way it is, right? It's like psychic hookers are around. I don't know if I can say that on here, but I'm just being me.
No, yeah, you be you, brother.
But this is who I am.
I love it.
I don't have another gear. This is what I am.
I love
it. So being around that, and I used to stay up forever. I would start to see and talk to entities quite frequently.
Okay.
All right. And this, I think it was twofold. Number one, I think it was demonic.
Yeah.
Because there's a paranoia that comes in. You've had illegal entrance into the spirit realm.
Right.
Right. That's what pharmakia is. Witchcraft is an illegal entrance into the spirit realm. I can remember, I always thought, which this is pretty common for drug addicts, somebody's outside coming to kill me. Right. The paranoia is there.
Wow.
Now, remember, there'd be people outside coming to kill me, and then guys would come and stand on the inside of my door, giant beings.
You would see them.
Yes, and I would converse with them, and I would say, "What are you guys doing here?" And they would say, "We're here to keep the guys on the outside from killing you.
Interesting.
Our assignment is to keep the guys on the outside from killing you." And I didn't know what it was at the time, but I think I was conversing with the angelic.
It sounds that way.
Right, the angelic were there to protect me.
Wow.
From the outside.
Amazing.
So there was some of that on the bad side of the supernatural. Then I get spirit-filled, Z. I'm around, right? I see that the baptism of the Holy Spirit exists in the Bible.
Yeah.
I get spirit-filled. I begin to speak in tongues. That prophet came and gave me the word, Tommy Birchfield.
Okay.
And when he did, something was imparted to me.
Wow.
He laid hands on me, and I'm telling you, it was like juice, fire coming into me. I mean, every part of my being lit up. I have now. I'd never experienced anything like that before.
Man.
And then I started getting words of knowledge.
Okay.
He released something into me. That's the power of impartation.
It's real.
So here's what happens. I go over to college. I was taking some classes, Amarillo College, and I was taking an intro to world religions course.
Interesting.
Just to see, I'm going to figure out, I knew all the other religions are false, but I want to see what's happening and how do I minister to people. And I'll walk in and I'll look at this guy. This is like the next day after Brother Tommy prays for me. I look at this guy and I'm like, that guy's a Hindu. I was thinking that, and then all of a sudden these words came up out of my spirit. And it was like, nah. Right? God speaks to you like you understand. He said, nah, he's a Buddhist.
Wow.
Just like that, thundered. And I'm like, what was that? And I look over at him. I'm like, that guy must be a Buddhist. So the professor goes up, says, we have a special treat today. And this guy's a white guy. It's not like I'm looking from a guy from Tibet and think he's a Buddhist. This guy's dressed like me, looks like me.
He didn't fit the description.
No, it didn't fit an Eastern description like a lot of people would have. He looked like a West Texas white boy that's raised out there in the plains somewhere. And so he said, we got a special guest here. Today, this guy is going to talk to us about Zen Buddhism. He's a Buddhist. Man. And he's also an Episcopalian. Now I'm like, how are you a Zen Buddhist
what
and
a combo.
Episcopalian? I'm like, this is a confused guy. But I realized, okay, that's God talking to me.
Yeah.
And those things started happening. And what's funny is I'd have a lot of that early on, Z.
Yeah.
I hadn't been saved long and I was a mess. And the preacher's daughter was hot for me. All right. That's my wife now. All right. I'm just kidding. She really wasn't hot for me, but
our wives are on set, so this is fun.
Set.
Yeah.
I saw her. Jessie was pretty, right? And I'm like, I was there for essentially faith-based drug rehab. And I wouldn't give you a dime for a drug rehab without a pretty girl in it. So I'm like, check that out. Now, she wouldn't date me or anything until I got my act cleaned up. But the other boys in the church that were my age, they noticed Jessie too.
Okay.
And they wanted to date her.
I bet. Yeah.
Right. And so I come out and I start prophesying. And I got these words of knowledge. And they would say I hadn't been saved long enough to do that.
Oh, man.
They were ticked. They try to discourage me. They would come to me. It's like, you can't do that. You hadn't this, you hadn't that.
Yeah.
You're barely not smoking Marlboros right now. I'm like, what? I can't give a word of knowledge. What's up? I just gotten saved.
At this moment, religious demons are screaming.
They're
I love
screaming.
it. Yeah.
But the gifts aren't tethered to how good of a boy or girl you are.
That's right.
A gift is a gift.
Oh, that's so true. Come on, Brian.
So you get, people are watching right now, they get confused, Z, because they see somebody that can read mail.
That's right. Come on.
And they think, oh, there's a righteous man. Listen, I can show you a total outlaw that can read mail.
That's right.
I've got a friend that'll get and I use the word friend loosely, an acquaintance.
Yeah.
Totally trash, drunk and on drugs that can prophesy accurately.
Wow.
Right? Now, I think a different spirit's probably filled that space in his life. But just because they're accurate or just because they move doesn't mean they're righteous. And now I was working to get righteous. I was a young kid, but those guys were like, you can't do that. And then I even gave them words of knowledge and they would tell me they were wrong. Later, the guy came and repented and said it was right. But I was mad because you just gotten saved, you're operating like that. And I thought Jessie liked you.
They just wanted to diminish you.
They wanted to diminish me. So I had to learn how to get through that. There's a lot of stuff you got to navigate when you start seeing and feeling and sensing and operating in the gifts. Because the gifts are powerful.
They are.
But knowledge is power.
There you go.
Right? And a lot of that's word of knowledge, prophecy. So you can take knowledge and you can build up, or you can take knowledge and you can break down.
Yep.
You got to watch how you use the knowledge.
That's so powerful. And I think what you're working on, and this is one of the reasons I like you, like Heather and I, we love you and Jesse. Like you guys, you are just model leaders. You really are. You know, we've been to your church. You have several churches. We love you guys. And your journey has been so remarkable. And the way God does it, do you think, and I just want to ask you this is kind of like a prophetic question, and this will help people. Do you think there's a different breaking that happens to prophets than other fivefold ministers or other people in the body of Christ?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
That is, if you're now, for discussion's sake, everybody can prophesy.
Yes.
One by one.
Yes.
Doesn't make them a prophet.
That's right.
Right? If we're prophetic people who have the Spirit of God. I kind of see the prophetic in 3 or 4 levels. But when you get to full-fledged office of the prophet, if you look all throughout the Bible, it's those who persecute the prophets, right? Those scriptures will come up again, like talking about Israel, you who kill the prophets, you persecute the prophets. That language is said again and again.
Yeah.
Because prophets get crushed.
They do.
In the Old Testament, like thank God we're New Testament, but still prophets get crushed.
There's something about it.
And I got friends who are prophets. And you guys call me prophet. I've went by pastor most of my life.
Oh, yeah,
right?
for sure.
But some of my friends won't even use the term prophet because they're like, I know what happens to prophets, right? They like Isaiah gets hewn in two. You know, they start going through all the lists of what happens to the prophets.
Right.
So there is a crushing. My wife, Jessie, we call her like the prophet whisperer.
Oh, man.
You know, because she's pastoral, but she's prophetic and she ministers to a lot of prophets.
Yes.
So we got prophets in our life, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times prophets need ministry too.
They do.
And they need pastors.
They sure do.
Right? Every prophet needs a prophet. Every prophet needs a pastor.
That's right.
To keep us all together. And Jessie kind of does that. But there's some people from Latin America. And the dad of this girl is like the John Maxwell of Latin America.
Really?
All right. Comes in, fixes problems, structure, leadership. And she's married to a prophet friend of mine.
Oh, man.
All right. So she's raised in like a John Maxwell environment, married a prophet. All right. So she's tell Jessie, everybody hates us. You know, she's like, everybody's mad at us. And like, everybody loved my dad. And she's like, Jessie's like, yeah. You married a prophet, honey.
That's the deal.
And she's like, you're right. There's warfare against the prophetic.
There is.
So a prophet's job is to train people into the prophetic, but it's also to release the wonders of God to the body of Christ.
Oh, man, talk about that, Brian.
Right? We're one that we're designed to inspire wonder and the awe of God.
Yes.
Right? That's really where it's at. We bring the word of the Lord. Yeah, we're training people, but we're edifying, exhorting, comforting. But then there's this wonder aspect, and it's very spiritual, right? It is the most spiritual matter invading the natural of any office. Yeah. Now, every office dips into the supernatural, don't get me wrong, but the prophet has a different assignment. And because of that, hell comes after the prophets.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The demonic comes after the prophets. The witches come after the prophets. There's always warfare around the prophets. And so, yes, there is a breaking. And I don't know a strong prophetic voice that's like, okay, that's a prophet's prophet. That's a man of God. Yeah. That hasn't almost been taken to the brink of death, insanity. Yep. All of destruction.
It's real.
And I hate even saying it out loud. I'm not believing for it. I don't even want to believe that. And
we're faith guys.
I don't want any more of that in my life. Yeah. And it is a reality.
It is, yeah. And, today there's so many things I want to talk to you about because, I really respect you as a man of God, but your gifting is something that a lot of people try to manufacture. But I've been with you. I've worked with you, and it is profound the way you minister. It's profound the way Jesse ministers.